Guys, very good morning to all of you. My name is Ajay and I welcome all of you to my channel. We are going to today discuss about how to prioritize the charts when you basically copy them from the Excel and you want to paste them on the PowerPoint. Now, if you are following the channel, you already know that we have already started a series how to connect the Excel with the PowerPoint and how to make the different slides. There are already 9-10 videos on that. If you're new to the to the channel, please go and check out this playlist. You can see here 44 playlist I have created all of you on the Excel VBA, MS Access and Access VBA. So here when you scroll it down, you would get to see that Excel VBA connecting PowerPoint with the Excel, right? So when you click on that, I've specifically, just for your ease, given the title as part 1, part 2, part 3 and part 4, part 5, part 6. So follow the all the videos in this series if you want to be a master in creating the slides on the Excel VBA, right? There is no manual work actually, guys, we are doing here. You click the button and the slides are going to be exported in the PowerPoint. So these are all the different examples, and then a couple of more latest videos which I have uploaded here on your request, right? So now what happens, yesterday, day before yesterday, Ruben, who is my subscriber, watched this video which you can see here, export charts from all sheet, right? From all sheet, and then in one go PowerPoint. So we want to export all the charts from all the sheet, entire workbook. Now then, after watching this video, Ruben actually has this the question which I'm going to just read in front of you, and the question is fantastic. So that's what actually Ruben has said. Awesome video. Thank you. I have a question. I have a workbook with multiple sheets. Within the sheet contains on average 9 charts. So every sheet contains almost 9 charts. That is what Ruben is talking about. I have prioritized the charts with the most important on the top of the sheet and the least important on the bottom. I ran your VBA and the code flipped through the sheets in order. However, when it is copying the charts, it is not in the order. It copies and pasted the charts to the PowerPoint out of the order. My goal is to paste the charts in order. So I am going to discuss this. Thank you so much. This is really a wonderful question. Yes, this is a wonderful question, and this is, since this is coming live from somebody who is working in the MIS, I guess, because the kind of question you have asked, I'm sure you work a lot on the presentations and on the Excel. So this would be a terrific example for everybody who is going to see this video today. Now guys, first of all, we will understand what is happening here. Now this is a dummy data I have prepared. If I just go ahead and create the chart here, for example, I'm going to create here this simple chart. You can see the chart name is chart 1. This is your chart 1. Now the chart 1 actually is the VBA chart, right? The VBA, not the VBA, but I mean the Excel creates, when the Excel creates chart, that name is given to by default. The name given to the chart is like this, chart 1. Now if you go ahead and insert one more chart on this, what will happen? Suppose I create this line graph. If you look at the name box again, the chart name is actually chart 2, right? So automatically what will happen, the charts will have the chart 1, chart 2, chart 3 and chart 4, 5, 6, 7 and so on. This is how the chart names will be are going to come, right? Now if I further go ahead and create, let us say, one more chart to give you the understanding, I go in the insert, and now I'm going to click here, maybe here, and I'm going to make this maybe any chart. For example, let's just make this kind of a chart. Right now you see that the moment I selected this chart, this is actually showing as chart 3. These are all the charts available for you. This is the chart 1. You can see here chart 1. This is a chart 2 and this is a chart 3. The question is that if I want to prioritize, for example, I don't want to actually show this chart 3 after the chart 1, which I have created here, right? That's basically my question. What I want to do is I want to tell my VBA that, look, you are supposed to fix the chart in this way. For example, you're gonna put first this chart. If I just put this chart maybe a little above the rest of the charts, for example, I'm gonna put the chart here, and then I'm going to put this chart here, or maybe after this this particular chart. So let me just resize it. This is how. Now if I think that if I run the code and the VBA is going to paste the charts in this order, first this is going to be picked up, which is chart 3, then this is going to be picked up, which is chart 2, and then this is going to be picked up chart 1. No, it is not going to do that. VBA will pick up the charts in the order that when they get created, right? So for if you want to do that, there is another solution. But first of all, let us run the loop and see how the default loop is going to work. I'm going to run the loop, and so there we see that how it is going to work. So guys, let us first go and run the collection loop. So I'm going to simply define my chart ch as chart object. This is how we define it, right? This video is not talking about the how to create the charts, obviously. I'm not here to talk about the basics of the charts. This is extremely advanced level. If you want to understand how to create the charts using VBA, then please go and check my playlist Excel VBA charts and the pivots, and you will find there very basic level videos starting from the scratch, how to create the charts, how to define the charts in the VBA, right? How to completely control the charts using the codes, right? The videos are already there. So here, this is how we run the loop for each chart in active sheet dot chart object. I'm just going to create one sheet right now in order to give you the example. So now when you write the message box in the name, if I'm going to run this, see what will happen. You get to see the chart 1. Why you're not getting the chart 3 when you have actually prioritized it and you have moved it on the top, as you know, Ruben also talked about it. So this is how the chart is going to be, you know, looped in your Excel, in your VBA, right? It doesn't matter how you're gonna put them. It doesn't matter whether you put this chart 3 on the top, right? That is the first thing. Now, if I want to copy and paste them, or maybe I want, first of all, I will just run the loop here. I will correct the loop and I will show you that if you want that this chart should come first, then how you can do that. So guys, it's very simple, but you know, I would also like to tell you one thing, that you can copy the chart, you can paste the chart only, you know, when you are able to copy it. And copy, when you copy something, before copying you have to select it, right? So suppose if I want to copy this 100, obviously I will have to first go there and select it, right? And then I can copy it. So in the charts, what we basically are going to do is I'm going to select this chart first, and then I'm going to copy it, and then we're going to paste it in the PowerPoint. Then I'm going to copy this chart, and then I'm going to, you know, paste it in the PowerPoint, and so similarly for this chart. So right now what I will do is I will show you how to basically select the chart and copy it in the same loop. Okay, I'm not really going to do any changes right now. So it's very simple. First of all, let me just resize it and just so that you can see also how the charts are going to be selected. Right now no chart is selected, as you can see in your background, right? And I just removed the grid line as well. Okay, now there we go. So I open this window, and instead of the message box, now guys, what I need to do is I will simply want to select the charts, right, one by one. So I write here ch.select. This is the method which we are going to use with the chart class, right? We have this method which the VBA has given us to select the chart. Now look at this. I'm going to run this. Keep your eyes here on this spreadsheet. The moment I run this, there has to be one chart which will be selected. Now what do you think? Which chart will be selected? This chart, or this chart? I think it is going to be the chart number 1. You know, way we have created, and you know your chart is this. This is your chart 1. Doesn't matter though you have now put it just below these two charts, and it looks like this is the third chart, but it's not that. Look at this. Look at this, guys. This is selected. You can see these 4 circles around these, you know, corners. So that means this chart is selected. Now time for the second chart. Which was the second chart? This was the second chart, and then now this is the third chart. So this is what exactly you want to now, you know, take the control. You got to you know, do some modifications in this code. Okay, so how to modify this? Now in order to modify this, what I'm going to do is there are 2 methods of doing it. One is you can run the for next loop, which I have, in fact, you can see on my comments as well. I talked about this. This is the code you can use. Okay, and if you want to use the another code, for example, you want to prioritize the charts in this particular loop, I'm afraid you will not be able to do that, because this basically the loop works, you know, this is a inbuilt for each collection loop. So rather than using this kind of a loop, I don't want to take a chance. I will completely change this loop. Okay, so what I will do is, in just in front of you, I'm going to create one more loop. Okay, and so I will create one more macro here, sub, I write here my chart, and then what I will do is I will create a variable dim I as integer, and now we are going to run for I equals to 1 to how many charts I have. Well, that depends, you know, how many charts we don't know, so we will simply write here chart object. We are going to count basically the charts, how many charts I have there in that active sheet, right? Now when you're going to run this loop will run 3 times, but then when it is going to run 3 times, you want to first select this particular chart, which is chart 3 actually. Here is the trick, guys. What you will do is you will go here and first of all you will rename this to chart 1, right? So obviously, first of all, let us rename this, because as long as this is the chart 1, this will not be, I don't think so you will be able to rename this as chart 1. So I'm just going to write here chart 11. I'm just changing the name, and I'm going to write here this as maybe chart 32. Now this is so just a second, I just change this to 22. I click outside. You see that all right, so we are not, yeah, okay, I'm sorry, let me just pull it back here. Oh, my mouse is not working, I think. Yeah, so let us say this is a chart. I know this chart doesn't look nice, but that's fine. I mean, you know, we can do that. So I'm just going to name it something else, maybe 13. I click outside, and I need to find it out why we are not able to change the names. So if I just write here 4, let me see that. So let's just go ahead and write here like this. Suppose chart number, I want to give it 3. That's my new chart name. I want to give it 3, and it's not changing. That's why it's changed. I write here chart 3 and I press enter. There we go. You got the chart 3 now, and I think I wasn't pressing the enter, and this is going to be my, so which chart you want to create it? I want to keep it chart 2, for example. That's fine. You press enter. Now go here and make this as chart 1. Okay, you can also write like this and press enter. I wasn't pressing the enter, and that is why the chart name was not coming. So now if I look at back at the chart, you see that this is chart 3 and this is chart 2 and this is chart 1. So I have changed the name of the chart now, and I did this in all the sequence I want, right? Because this has to be the first chart, so I given this name as chart 1, and this has to be the second chart, so I have written this chart 2, because when I'm going to run the loop with the using the variable I, I'm going to change the I one by one. Now there is no compulsion for you to put them in this order. You can just put them in any order. They are really going to work, because chart never works on the order they put. They work on the in the kind of the naming convention you give them, right? So now what we will do here is, as you know, I want to select the chart. So this is how we will do active sheet dot chart objects. This is the line which you are supposed to write, and then you're going to write here chart, right? So generally we write the chart name here, for example chart 1. Now I can write the chart 1, and you would see that if I just run this line, the chart will be selected. For example, right now in front of you, I'm going to just put all these charts in front of you, and you would see that how they are actually getting selected. Just a second. Oh, I'm really doing bad today on the charts, can't move them. Okay, so that's fine, I just delete this, looks very ugly. Okay, so now I'm just selecting on the cell outside the charts. No chart is, we have selected right away, and we're going to run this now. Now the moment I run this, you see what will happen. This chart 1 is going to be selected. This should be selected. So you see that this chart 1 is selected, and this is the one actually I created it, right? Again, if you run the loop, this is going to run the second time. You will not have any changes, because this is the chart 1. This is a static code you have done. So in order to run this 3 times, and in all the 3 loops, it should not the 3 loops, but while running 3 times within this loop, it has to basically be chart 1, chart 2, chart 3. So what you will do very smartly, you will just put the codes here. You're going to join it with this I, and that's it, guys. You know that I is going to change, right? So don't put the I in the codes, because it is a variable, right? Okay, so what is the mistake I'm doing? Let me put the and as well. So I'm going to join it with the and. There we go. Now this I keeps on changing 1, 2, 3, and how the VBA will come to know that it should not be 4 5 because you haven't created any chart 4 and 5. Obviously guys, we have put this active sheet object.count. It will count the charts on every sheet and it will run the until it loop through all the charts one by one. So let us go ahead and run this with particular stuff right now. So I'm gonna run this. There we go. You see that it is selected, and then it is selected. You can see this chart is selected. Very nice. Then at last this chart is selected. Wow, that's amazing, right? So when you have all these selections done in the way you want, you can quickly go ahead and paste them in the PowerPoint, right? So in order to paste that in the PowerPoint, what we are going to do is, obviously I need to modify the code. So let me just press enter, and there we go. So we're going to start. First thing which I will do is I will declare my PowerPoint, and I go to the tools and the reference, and I'm going to click here the Microsoft PowerPoint library. So it starts with the P. So I have here the PPT. This is the library I need to select. You should also select depending upon your version. And now we're going to select that PPT as PowerPoint application. I hope you're very familiar with these now lines if you have watched all those 10-11 videos, right? And we're gonna write these lines. I have written this line so many times, right? Okay, so even in my sleep, sometimes I take a dream that I'm writing the code, and I'm writing all these PPT codes, Outlook codes. Trust me on that. It's very funny. So what is the next thing you want to do? You declare the presentation as we do that, right? So this is something we have already done, right? So I just not gonna take much of the time on that. We're going to add the presentation, and this is how you add the presentation. Now the next part is I'm going to write a P slide because we want to insert the slide as well, and I'm going to write a PowerPoint that slide. We will use the slide class, and now I'm going to write I'm going to insert the slide. You can insert the slide here as well, but I would prefer, I think, once we have when we're going to run the chart here, this workbook activate. Let's come back to the workbook dot activate, and let's do one thing. PPT also should be visible, so we're going to write here PPT visible equals to true. Okay, that's it. And before I run the code, I just want to close this PPT because it's the existing one. We would like to open the new one. So when the chart is selected, what is the next thing you want to do? Obviously that chart has to be copied. Okay, that's what actually we want to do. So if I just write the same line here, for example, if we want to see that if we can copy that chart, I just write here dot copy. Okay, let us see if we can do that. If we can do that, good. Otherwise we will see what we need to do. Okay, so once the chart is copied, after we get it selected, we would like to go to the the slide. So I'm going to add the slide, P slide, and I'm going to insert that slide in the PowerPoint. That slide is going to be obviously using the presentation class, this P press, because in the presentation you're going to add the slide. So the hierarchy follows like this, guys. I had though explained in all my videos, but let me explain it again. Maybe you are watching the channel for the first time. So in the PowerPoint, the hierarchy goes like this. You have a biggest object, which is PowerPoint. Then you have the presentation, then you have the slides, and then you have the shapes. You cannot connect shapes until you have the slide. You cannot work on the slides until you have the presentation, and you cannot work on the presentation until you have opened the PowerPoint. That's how the hierarchy goes, right? So that's why I'm going to use here the P press, and we're going to add the slide here. This is the code for that. Add, just right here, add. You don't have to use the add slide, and then which basically the slide you want to add. So I'm going to add here the first slide. That would, again, I'm going to use this I very wisely. So I'm going to use this and going to keep it blank, and then here this is what you will do. Now this time we will paste actually that, right? So shapes dot paste special, and then you can choose any of the format. So I'm going to choose the bitmap. That's it, guys. So this will insert the new slide, this particular line. It will insert the first slide, because the first time when the loop run, this I will be 1. The next time when the loop goes from here, obviously this I will be 2, and then this I will also change, and the second slide will be inserted. And obviously the number of charts you have on your worksheet, the number of slides you need in order to paste them, right? So let us go ahead and let us see if we can make this pretty awesome code or not. So I go ahead and run this. Here we go, guys. PPT app, we have opened this. trying to make it visible. Now you can see in your front of your screen, PowerPoint is visible, very nice. Now the presentation has to be added because this entirely looks, completely blank. So now we go ahead and you can see that presentation is added. It is asking me to add the first slide. I will do that, but first of all I will go on my workbook. So now I'm gonna run this loop. Let me take you to the workbook in order to see whether the charts are going to be selected or not. This chart should select my first chart. Look at this, guys. By default this was the chart which I had selected while running the code, right? But doesn't matter, whatever chart you select, or maybe you don't select, this is going to select the first chart. Now I'm gonna run this. The chart is copied, this worked. Now let's come back to the presentation and let us see that what we're gonna have here. Now this should add the first slide. First slide is added, and now let me see the chart. Okay, so the code actually ran. Let me see that. All right, so we have got all the the slides. Let me show you F5, and this is the first one, this is the second one, and this is the third one, right? I hope we have done the justice with this. This is the one, the first one, this is the third one. Yeah, so we got the chart. So I actually couldn't run it on the F8 mode. I will run it again because you know that I talked about this previously also. When you basically work with the PowerPoint, sometimes what happens, code doesn't work on the F8, it immediately runs on the F5. So we have a solution for that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually put the break code here. Okay, and in order to put the break code, I will simply can click here. Maybe I can put the break code here. So let me just press F9 here, and I'm gonna press F9 here as well. F9 basically is the shortcut key to put the break code. So we will now see once again. Now you know that this is your chart number 1 where you have the years, and this is my chart 3 and this is chart 2, right? So I can maybe go ahead and kind of design this in a different way. Maybe I can do that, right? So the slide should have this chart as first chart, and then this, and then this, and I think we have already seen that, but still I will run this because I really love to run this. This is a very good work we have done here. So the chart PPT is now going to be visible. I got the presentation added. Now we're gonna have the chart copied. Chart is going to be copied, and now it should get pasted here. So I just go in this slide to show you. Let me see that. You see that? Let me just go here and look at this, guys. This is the first chart which is added. I again press F8. Now again one more. The slide is entered because here you have your I as 2, right? So here now another chart is going to be pasted. Now let me again show you. You can see that the next chart is also inserted, which was the chart number 2, right? So again I press F8, and you can't see that F8, that arrow, because I have used the shortcut key like this. So when I'm using the F9, so that's why it's showing me completely blank. It's because of my some setting errors actually, which I will correct after the video, because I can't click here to the break code. So that's fine. I mean, you're understanding what is happening, right? So now let me just remove all the break codes from here. So I go here and I click here. So guys, what happened? Basically, these are the lines which are very normal. They are not important, I think, because if you have watched my all 9-10 videos, you know how to do this job, right? I really tried my best to explain you there. The point is that these are the lines which is very important, guys. So today you learned this loop. Generally you make the loop like this for each chart in active sheet, but I think in this chart we will have one problem, that we will not be able to select the charts according the way we want, right? For example, if I just write here the same thing, that active sheet, let me see if we can do that. In case if we can do that, we can use any of the loop. So I am gonna write here the chart, which is chart, the name of the chart, and I'm going to use this with the variable. Now which variable I will have to create here, because you see that here you don't have I, right? In this case you have the for I, so you were using it. So here maybe I can use J, but then you have to declare the J as well, right? So I write here select. So I'm going to declare here as J as maybe white, and I just declare this as 1, and then while running this code, J has to be incremented. So this is altogether a different code, but ultimately what I want to do is I want to test whether this can select all the charts. right? Because when you run basically the collection loop, what happens, collection loop, I believe it should actually select the charts the way, it is designed at the time it is created. But still, we can do this the way, I mean, we want to select the charts. If using this line, if this can work, then that's wonderful. Yes, I'm not going to use here chart.select, this time. By default, if you use the ch.select, by default it will go to the chart which was created first, right? And then the second, third, and so on. So we are doing so many stuff in this, particular video. So I'm just going to run this, and okay, so right now there is no chart which I have selected in front of you. So if I just run this, let us see. Now this is going to select the first chart, and I think this is the first chart. So if I just run this, oh yes guys, this is working very nice. Now we are going to increment the j by 1, so now the j is going to be 2, as you can see. Now it goes to the second. Now this is the second chart, I remember, right? We have named it as chart 2. This is cool, pretty cool. And now the third chart. All right, and the loop should finish. Bingo. So use any chart, guys, use any loop. I've given you 2 loops, right? Want to use this loop which I have used in all my previous videos, use that. But this is also a good loop. You should be, what you have learned is that how to count the charts. Also, you can also, if you are using, if you are in the requirement to know how many charts every sheet has, you can always use this active sheet dot chart objects dot count in the message box, or maybe you can store that in any of your variable. So I just love this video, and again, I love this not because I recorded it, by the way, right? Hang on. I Because the question was so fantastic, right? So thank you so much for giving this wonderful opportunity, and I hope all of you uh, who have watched this video today, definitely you all will be delighted, and further, I mean, it would have added more, sense, more strength to your coding, especially when you actually work with the PowerPoint. You control the PowerPoint from your Excel. So thank you so much, Ruben, and do subscribe to the channel, guys. If you haven't subscribed, watch all these 400 amazing videos. I'll see you soon in my next video. Thank you so much.